Right. So we're going to talk about themes, plugins, and SEO for your blog. Now, I have a lot of resources here. I'm not going to go through all of them with you. I'm just going to leave them to you to research on your own. But basically, themes are the reason they have themes is to separate the look and feel, the design and the layout of your blog from the underlying blog technology. And so this makes it really easy to change the way your blog looks without having to change any of the WordPress code. And then every time WordPress comes out with a new version, you don't have to change your design. But you should be aware, though, especially with these new, more complex themes and designs, there's a lot of software involved in, for example, setting up the content that goes in a magazine style or a video portal or a user membership area and so on. So it's still possible that when they upgrade the theme, when they upgrade WordPress, that there might be a conflict with the software in your theme. So you want to make sure that when you do choose a theme, it's one that's supported. So there's a lot of free themes everywhere. But you want to make sure that it's one that's going to be maintained and upgraded whenever WordPress updates. Especially if it happens to be, your authority center, your main site. You don't want WordPress to come up with an upgrade. You upgrade WordPress, and all of a sudden, your site doesn't look right at all. It's totally, a mishmash. So generally speaking, this will work almost all the time, but be aware that when you upgrade carefully. And for that purpose, I'm also going to recommend, number one, don't upgrade as soon as the upgrade's available. Give it a few weeks or a month, because it does happen on occasion that when the community tries it, they find bugs in it, and then instead of you having to work with the bugs, you wait till the whole world tries it, give it 2-3 weeks, and then if you don't see a lot of people talking about how buggy that release is, then you might go ahead and upgrade it. That time also allows all of the plugin manufacturers to get feedback from the rest of the world and find out whether they have any issues with different themes and different other plugins and so on and so forth. So don't be in a hurry to upgrade as soon as you get notified that there's an upgrade available. There's a lot of room for things to go wrong, and until the whole world tries it at once, they haven't had a chance to test every combination. So give it a little bit of time, let everything settle down, then check to make sure that your plugins are compatible and there's no forum or Google discussion about problems with that release, and then you may decide to upgrade. And then even when you do, back up your WordPress installation first, upgrade it, and then and use it for a while, and then everything's okay, then release it to the world. And otherwise, don't try changing a theme, a plugin, or upgrading to WordPress without backing up, because the worst feeling in the world is you haven't backed up, something goes wrong, and now you've got no way to go back easily to the previous version. Okay, so always back up before you upgrade. I'm going to share with you a couple of my favorite theme resources, and like I said, I'm not going to go through in a lot of detail. I just list them for you so that you can go and look at them later. So the WordPress community has thousands and thousands of people contributing themes here in this particular area at wordpress.org extend.themes. So this is a little easier to find than that sounds. If you just go over, let's go over here to wordpress.org. Then you just have to go up here into the extend, right? So extend, you got plugins, themes, and then a whole bunch of cool things for mobile. Okay, so in this case, we go to themes. And here's an entire library of thousands. Right now, they've got 1,300 themes that you can choose from. And, you can find the most popular ones. You can find the newest ones here. And I'll show you how you can change your theme very easily. But essentially, lots of great ones here. You have to be careful here because just about anybody can contribute a theme. So you want to make sure that it's a theme that is, again, maintained and upgraded, and the person who did the theme has a history of keeping their themes up to date with revisions. So, if you stick with the popular ones, typically you're going to find yourself going to be in good shape in terms of those particular providers. Now, on the other hand, what I do prefer to do, well, let me just also show you, there are themes that exist that are not necessarily on this directory. So you can just Google for free WordPress themes or best free WordPress themes or top free WordPress themes. People are blogging about this all the time, and you can find lots of resources for great themes. And if you find an article from a reputable blogger, like if you go to TechCrunch or Mashable or Lifehacker or something like that, and they have a list of the best free themes, then the chances are that they've done their homework. They know the people who create the theme, and they know that they're around for a while, and so they've done all the research for you. You know, you may as well take their word for it. Just remember, free does not always equal good. So some free themes aren't coded properly. They don't load fast. There's no SEO optimization. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff under the hood that may not be worth you getting that particular free theme. So again, use the themes that are very popular, that seem to be well supported, and that a lot of people are talking about on their blogs. So when you use Google, you get a good idea of which ones people are using and which ones they like. And so take that as a cue. Now, the way that I normally do it is I go visit one of my favorite theme resources, because these guys all have free themes as well as some premium themes. Now, when I say premium themes, we're not talking about thousands of dollars here, right? We're talking about $30, $50, $70, $100 for the themes that are on here. And they are really great themes. I mean, some of them look like, if you had them custom designed, they would have cost you, $3,000, $5,000, $6,000, maybe more. So there's a lot of excellent themes, and there's no reason why you can't just grab one of these themes and then get a designer to optimize it so it looks exactly right for you. A lot of them have, you can join theme clubs. So you pay like $100 a year, and then, or $100, $200, $300, depending on what you want. And you have access to all of their themes throughout the year, and they release 3 or 4 a month. So, so yeah, it's not free, but what you're sure about with this is that you can go back. There's support. There's usually a forum. They usually have designers who know how to design specifically for those themes. If anything goes wrong with the theme, you have a place to go to, like the manufacturer is actually getting paid. So they provide support, they provide updates, they test thoroughly when a new version of WordPress comes on, and so you get a lot for just, $50 to $100 for a theme. And so I usually start at one of these places when I'm looking for themes, not in the free theme resource. Lately, what's happening, though, is that there's a thing called theme frameworks. Excuse me, and WordPress actually advocates that designers use theme frameworks. And what theme frameworks do is, remember before I said that there are some times when people design themes and then a version of WordPress comes out and suddenly the theme doesn't work anymore, it breaks. Okay, well, that's because the code, the software that's in the theme is too closely connected to the functionality of WordPress. And so when that changes, the theme blows up. So now they created this thing called frameworks, where they separate the technology, the software that creates the look and feel of the theme, from the design, from this what they call CSS, which is which boxes appear where, how wide they are, what color they are, what color the buttons are, and all that kind of thing. And so what that means is that when a new version of WordPress comes out, the designer can just go in and tweak a little bit of the theme, but whatever you did to customize the design remains intact. And so that you can go in, and a lot of these theme frameworks, you can drag and drop your design. You say, I want a menu here, I want a button here, I want a widget here, and so on. And when you do that, it stays consistent through the upgrade and the release of WordPress. And so this is a really new and exciting way for theme development to be carried out. If you want to know about theme frameworks, you can go to the documentation directly in WordPress. But just know that it's basically made to make it easy for you and your webmaster to maintain, customize, and update your blogs. Okay, if you have multiple blogs and you're using the same theme frameworks, this makes it even easier, because now you only have to test one installation for an upgrade, and if that installation works, then you know that all your installations are going to work, so you can be free to upgrade. See, if you had theme A, theme B, theme C, theme D on different websites, you would literally have to install and test each one with the upgrade. Whereas with the framework, once the technology works, then you know that the design is going to work. And so if you use the same framework across all of your blogs, even though they look totally different, as soon as the release comes out, you test it and it works for one of your designs, then you just upgrade all of your sites knowing it's going to work for all of your sites. Really excellent in terms of robustness and ease of use and ease of maintenance. Now, with the theme framework, it's gotten really cool because a lot of people who design frameworks, they make it so that for you to design your blog, all you have to do now is either fill out a form, like, say I want my title to be here and I want it this color and that color, and, just check some boxes and slide some knobs and all that kind of stuff, and boom, you've designed your form. In fact, some are now using this advanced interface they call Ajax, which allows you to drag and drop to design the form. Remember before the way I designed the menu of pages? That was Ajax, moving stuff around on the page. And so some of these frameworks allow you to do that. They allow you to have a canvas, and you say, well, I want my header to show up here, I want my footer to show up here, I want 3 columns here, I want a sidebar there, and all you're doing is dragging and dropping, boxes on your screen. So now you don't have to be a web designer to make really cool looking pages. So excellent technology. I recommend you consider them. And all of these other places that I referred you to, I don't know about all of them, but many of them have frameworks that you can use. But some of my favorite frameworks, the one that I use on a lot of my membership sites and so on is Thesis. Genesis is Brian Gardner's new theme. Headway, Thematic, Carrington, Pagelines, Catalyst, Canvas. These are all the ones that a lot of people have used and a lot of people like. They all work a little bit differently. They're all designed for a slightly different audience, so I can't tell you which one is going to be best for you, but I do recommend that the next time you're thinking about creating a blog, that you check into one of these themes first. And know that that's going to make your life easier in terms of designing the look and feel of your blog. Thesis, Genesis, Headway, Thematic, all of these are very well supported. There's a lot of child themes, what they call child themes, meaning, inside the framework, they have a lot of new designs. So let's just real quickly take a look at Studio Press. And if you look at themes, okay, so here's the Genesis framework, for example, from Studio Press, and what they've done is they've developed a whole bunch of child themes. Okay, these are all the different themes that you can use underneath their framework. And like I said, the benefit of this is that if the technology changes, like if you go in and change the look and feel of these inside the child theme, then when WordPress updates, you don't have to worry that the look and feel of your blog is going to go here, it's going to go crazy. Also, they have a number of designers who know how to use this framework and design for it, so you can get these themes modified, customized, or completely developed from scratch for you. Okay, so all of these themes, all of them work under the Genesis framework. So imagine that you had like the Manhattan theme on one of your sites, the metric theme on another one of your sites, and you had, the education theme on another one, and then all of a sudden WordPress comes up with a new update. Well, you install the update on one of the sites. If it works, then you're going to know all of your other sites are going to work. So you just immediately go and update all the rest of them. You're good to go. You've just updated and maintained all of your child themes, all of your various sites. Okay, so that's the way that's designed to work. And like I said, I do recommend you take a look at these things. Now, something like Headway themes, this doesn't necessarily have a lot of child themes, but this is really good to allow you to drag and drop. So if you want to design your own themes and you want to drag and drop them, move a footer here, move a column there, just by picking up and moving stuff around. This is the one that you probably want to look at. It doesn't use the child theme structure so much, but it does make designing very, very easy. So again, the whole design, the layout is kept in a separate file. So in essence, your drag and dropping creates a child theme under Headway. So when WordPress updates, you test it on one site, and then if it works, it's going to work for all of your sites. Okay, so quite a number of really cool, really cool sites, really cool frameworks. Thematic is good too. Thematic, WordPress framework. There you go. So this is also a popular one, Thematic. Right, they're just, really worth having a look at them, and just find the one that suits your style or looks best or has the best looking default style. Some of them are magazine style, some of them are simple minimalist style. Just kind of have a look through and see which one suits you best. Now, by the way, if you don't want to do any of that, this basic theme that comes with the default theme that comes with WordPress is perfectly fine. You know, you can change this header, this banner, to be one of yours, with your picture, your image, your tagline, whatever, and you're good to go. This is an excellent theme, and it's it's pretty flexible and easy to use as well. It doesn't allow you all of the complete redesign capability, but if you want to get up and running fast with a pretty decent theme that you can get a great look and feel for, use the default one. This is called 2010. Okay. Now plugins is a slightly different story. Plugins, what they do, if you'll remember, is that they extend the core WordPress features and functions. So oftentimes plugins, there are some plugins that are developed by WordPress, but by and large they're developed by other third-party developers. So somebody thinks of a good idea and they say, it would have been nice if WordPress could do this, whatever, could add a way to put the author's name and picture at the bottom of every post. And so they create a plugin that allows WordPress to have that functionality. So you can think of it a little bit, it's roughly equivalent to the way that operating systems work with software applications. So for example, whether you're talking about Windows or Mac or OS, think of that as your WordPress. Okay, Windows and Mac OS, if you're on the Mac, that's your WordPress. And then every time you install a new application, like Word or Pages or PowerPoint or whatever, a browser, Firefox, those are all plugins. They're all plugging into the operating system and augmenting the basic functionality of Windows or Mac OS. Okay, so it's a lot like this building block sort of thing, right? So the blue is WordPress, it sits in the center, and then all of the other things around it are plugins. So they act like one application, but only WordPress has the core functionality, and all the rest of this, the gray stuff, these are all different plugins done by third-party developers. Okay? Now, you're going to see a screen that should probably terrify you. Oh, it's going to have me click through all of them. But, just don't worry that, don't feel like you have to have all of these working in your theme, in your blog to get started. In fact, if you do just the essentials here, you're probably going to do more than what most people have. So these are just some of the ones that I happen to use or know about. Like I don't happen to use one shopping cart sign up form, but I know that people need it and some of my clients use it, so it's one I recommend. But in some way or another, I've pretty well used all of these at one point or another and continue to use them. So here's what you're going to look for. The essentials, this is a spam blocker, a Kismet. Jetpack adds a couple of different features that will actually allow you to, not use WordPress.stats and a couple of other ones. It's brand new. You should take a look at it. WordPress.com gives you a way to keep stats on your blog without having to take up any of your server time. You actually use WordPress's hosted statistics server to keep track of who's visiting what pages and whatever else on your site. Total cache, what this does is it improves the performance so your pages are displayed faster. We always recommend that you use analytics, Google Analytics, so you can track on your exactly where people are going, how much time they're spending on your pages, what pages they're coming in from, what search engine keywords are driving traffic, and so on. Well, now if you want that code to appear on every one of your blog pages, but you don't want to add it every time you create a page. You just want to add content. So if you use this plugin, you give it your Google Analytics ID, and you're good to go. You've got Google. This will back up your database. Remember I said whenever you want to upgrade, make sure you back up. This is backing up. This is when you are backing up and you don't want people using your blog while you're doing maintenance, then this puts up a page that says, hey, we're doing maintenance, come back in an hour. WP Touch makes your blog mobile friendly. Secure WordPress adds a little bit extra security so people don't hack your account so easily. This is the contact form where you can put on your page so people can contact you. If you're using RSS, and most blogs by default have RSS for the posts and for the comments, I recommend you divert those through FeedBurner, so you can have some statistics and so on. And what FeedBurner plugin does is it allows your blog comments to be directed to FeedBurner, and so people will sign up to your FeedBurner account. This is a cool little thing that I use because instead of having the vertical menu along the left-hand side, I like a menu on the top with drop-down functionality. So this changes the menu structure of WordPress. You don't need to do it, if you're happy with the default thing, but I just kind of like that better. And then Backup Buddy is actually a paid version of a backup plugin from iThemes that you can use to back up, to transfer, to migrate your blogs. It's like $97, but if you want to make sure that all of your theme, all of your plugins, all of your functionality, all of your core files are backed up and transferred into your next destination, you're going to want to use Backup Buddy. It's an incredible tool, and it's a reliable one. This is if you want to add opt-in forms to your blog from One Shopping Cart or Aweber. This makes it easy. If you want to, sometimes if you get into the raw HTML, if you want to actually add HTML to your post, and sometimes you do. If you're, you may come to a time when it's not enough just to use the visual editor. You got to add HTML. These utilities allow you to do that without the editor breaking. If you want to put comments, I highly recommend you use this, Facebook comments for WordPress. It allows people to use, whenever they comment in your blog, it shows up on Facebook. It also has the like button on it. If you want a tweet meme, this allows people to count how many times your post has been tweeted. This shows your Twitter feed on your page, show all of these this is a good one. PubSub Hubbub. This basically takes your post and disseminates it broadly to all of the indexes and all the notification engines. It's a superset of what happens in your ping list that we talked about earlier. So I recommend you use that as well. If you want to put audio on your site, and it's only audio, where'd it go? What happened here? I did something with my mouse that was weird. Go figure. Okay, if you want to put just audio on your site, here's a couple of things you can use. Audio players, really popular. If you're doing any kind of podcasting, you can use that Part3 podcasting plugin. And by the way, you don't need all of them. Just choose one, whichever one is your favorite. If you're using the JW player like I do, you might want to use the plugin for that. If you're using Flow Player like a lot of people do, you might want to use the plugin for that. This is the one I like a lot, the S3 Flow Shield. It uses the Flow Player plugin, but it also allows you to connect with your to serve your video files from Amazon S3, and it allows you to even pop it up in a Lightbox. So S3 Flow Shield and Easy Video Player, these are not free. They're about $97 a piece, I think. But I own both of them, use both of them, love both of them, recommend both of them. And these are free players if you don't want to use that. Smart YouTube, if you're embedding content from YouTube to your blog post, you don't want to have all of the, at the end of the end of the play where it has all the related videos and the replay and the embed and all that stuff that's great for YouTube, but it's going to just distract people on your blog from reading your content. Well, Smart YouTube allows you to customize the player so that it always shows up in HD. It doesn't have any of those extraneous, unrelated video stuff, and it's a way to control the way YouTube videos play on your site. So if you are putting YouTube videos on your site, make sure you look into this. And then if you just want, a generic Flash video player, then you use Simple Flash Video. These days, I recommend you look at these two, JW Player or Flow Player, because they're the ones that are maintained and kept up to date when it comes to HTML5, which means running on mobile devices, iPod, Android, Blackberries, all those kind of things. You probably want to stick with one of the two big players there. Now, for SEO, what I want to show you is a series of plugins that are going to help you to do the most important things. Remember we talked about the 80-20 rule. So what you want to do to get the most out of your blogging in terms of search engine optimization is you want to use search friendly URLs. So remember when we changed the default way that the URLs show up in blogs? Okay, so that you did, but in the configuration, you don't need a plugin for that. But you want to be able to search engine optimize your title so that the post that you use in the title doesn't always have to be the title that's optimized for search engines. You want to be able to put a description in there that shows up on the search engine results. You don't want to leave it to Google to just pick the first 100 characters on your site. You want to make sure that all your images have tags, descriptive tags, because Google can't read pictures, but if you put a tag beside it, it will assume that your picture is about what's in your tag. And this is just like a comment to Google that says, here's what this picture is about. And you can make that keyword rich, so now your image gets indexed for those keywords as well. Sitemaps are really important. Sitemaps are a way of telling Google where all of the content is on your site so they can find it and index it easily. And backlinks, now, excuse me, some of these things are going to be for backlinks, but more importantly, they're going to be for internal links. So you actually want content on your site linking to other content on your site. That's called deep linking, so that the search engine value gets spread around properly through your site, and that Google and if you can get your readers to go from one page of yours to another, to another, to another, stay on your site and consume it, then that also means that the bounce back rate for those pages is minimized, and so Google sees that your people stick to your site, they hang around a little bit more, they read more and more articles, and all that counts for a higher page rank, higher authority ranking. So how do we do this? What do we need to implement these things? Well, from a plugins point of view, all-in-one SEO pack, I've been using this for a long time. By the way, some of these theme frameworks that I mentioned to you, they have this feature built in where you can create the title and the description. SEO Ultimate is a new updated version, and it's a little bit more functional than all-in-one SEO pack, but either one will do. The latest version of WordPress set it up so that the word category shows up in the URL. This plugin removes it because you don't want to get indexed for the word category. You want to submit what the content on your site is to Google so it can find it. And so you want to use a plugin that's called Google XML Sitemaps. Okay, there's one for mobile, one for images, and one for videos as well. So now you can tell Google where to find all of your stuff, and you can tag it so Google knows exactly what the video is about, exactly what the image is about, and so on. We talked about PubSub. SEO-friendly images makes it easy to put descriptive text around your images. WordPress SEO Pager it sets up your pages so that they're organized and linked in such a way that there's navigation pages at the bottom, so that your posts can actually go from one to the next, and they're paginated, and that link makes it easy for Google to index all your pages. So if you don't get your sitemap updated in time, this thing here, SEO Pager, is going to take all of your posts and separate them into groups of posts, and at the bottom it's going to have like page 1, page 2, page 3. You've seen this sometimes. Well, that doesn't seem like a big deal, but it is a big deal, because what it means is Google now can easily find all of those other posts, whereas if those links weren't there before, it couldn't find them. So this makes it easy, again, for Google to find all of your pages. And if you're going to submit a sitemap, well, you have to generate a sitemap, so this will do it for you. WordPress related posts and yet another related post plugin. These are all that. What these do is whenever you have a post, somebody's reading one of your posts, at the end of the posts, it'll say something like, people who read this article were also interested in, and then it will find 2 or 3 or 4 other posts that, it takes a look around and sees what content or what categories are similar and so on, and then links to those posts for you automatically. So now you're going to have that deep linking, that internal linking set up for you automatically, and it's always going to go to posts that are related. So Google likes it, and it's good for your reader as well. And then one thing that I found recently, which is really cool, is this thing that's called Link Within. And what this does is it actually searches around for related posts and then displays links to that post with a thumbnail. So it has an image of what's waiting at that post with a little descriptive text. It's a really cool way of telling people, what to click through on. So now instead of just saying people who read this article were also interested in Article 1, Article 2, Article 3, it'll actually have thumbnail images so people can kind of see what that article is about and be more inclined to click through on it. So you're getting the benefit of the internal links and this really cool looking image thumbnail kind of thing as well. Now, I can't go into how to use each one of these in detail because, they have documentation. All these things have documentation. But I would recommend that if you do nothing else, that you grab the all-in-one SEO pack, you grab the no category base, XML sitemap, and probably WordPress related posts. Okay, if you do that, then all the other ones you can work on later. Actually, I don't know. I kind of think, nah, I think these are all going to be important. So all-in-one SEO pack, category base, XML sitemaps. Well, why not notify everybody? If you use images, Pager is optional but recommended. And I would say everything above from WordPress SEO Pager and up, I would recommend you do use. Mobile images and videos are optimized, but at least have the sitemaps. And then if you can do the related posts, it's great. Like in terms of functionality, in terms of how to use it, it's easy. All you do is put the plugin in and set it going, and it does all the work to find the related posts. Like you don't have to configure it, or there's no programming, there's no, you don't have to understand how it works. You just have to plug it in and turn it on. So you'll find that most of these run on their own. You're not going to need an operations manual. But some of them, like XML sitemaps and so on, it helps to know how they work. But the one that I want to show you most of all is this all-in-one SEO pack. Okay, and then we're going to probably have to wrap it up for today. But let me go so I'll show you, by the way, this is how you, real quick, we were talking about themes. So the way that you change your theme, the easy way to change your theme is you can just install a theme here and search for, let's say, a blue theme. Okay, and then these are all the ones that are in the themes directory from WordPress. Okay, so let's say I happen to like Revolution Code Blue. I click on it, I preview it, I say I like it, and then what I'll do is I'll install it. Install now. I'll activate it. And now, when I go to my Action Coaching blog, I've got a completely different look and feel. Right? That's how easy it is to change the theme. Now, if you, and when you manage themes, like here, I can go back and say, I want to activate this again. So activate this. I go back to Action Coaching Club, and now it looks like it did before. Okay, that's how themes work. And if you don't want to use one that's in the WordPress directory here, then you can upload. So let's say you buy a theme, you put it on your desktop, and you upload, and you just browse your desktop for where the zip file is. You'll get it in a zip file. You just find that file, click on it, and then click install now, and you're good to go. So installing themes is really easy. Now, know that some themes need configuration, so read the documentation. But we were talking about plugins now, and for plugins, adding a new plugin is really easy too, because most of the plugins, unless it's a premium plugin, are going to be in the WordPress plugin directory. So let's look at the popular ones here. Okay, here's the all-in-one SEO pack. You can see it's one of the most popular ones around. So I'm going to install this now. And yes, I want to install it. And then I want to make sure I activate it, right? Because it's installed doesn't mean it's running. So activating makes it run. And I have to configure it, but the configurations are not too bad. For the most part, let's say I'm going to leave everything by default for now. I'm going to just have you read the documentation to find out how this is. This is, I think, just a way for them to get a chance to remind you that they want you to donate. But you can leave the defaults in, update the options, and you should be good to go. Let me go back to the plugins here. Oops. Enable, and oh, I have to enable. Okay, hold on. Let me see where the enable thing is. Oh, here, enabled. Okay, and then update. All right, so what that means, so now if I go look at my plugins, I'll see that the all-in-one SEO pack is activated. Okay, and you can tell because if it says deactivate, it means it's currently activated. If it says activate, it means that it's not yet activated. So here's why it's important. So when you go to posts, let's say I want to add a new post. Well, actually, I'll just take this category 2. Now, notice what happens when I at the end of this post, I have a whole bunch of additional functionality here. This is how I'm going to SEO optimize my blog post. So for example, see, this says this is category 2, but I can say, for the sake of Google, I don't want it to use my title. This is category 2. I might want to say, click here to learn about losing weight. And that's my title. And the description might be, or maybe I don't want to say click here. I might just say, the best kept secret to weight loss and burning belly fat. Okay, so weight loss and belly fat and burn belly fat are my keywords. And here I might say, click here to watch a video on this strange and little known technique to instantly melt away the pounds. Okay, and if I do that for every one of my posts, now if you don't know what this is, if I go to google.com and I say lose weight, okay, so in the search engine results, this is the title, how to lose weight, weight loss basics, and this is the description. Now, if you don't specify that description, so what you want is for this to be like a little advertising for you. And if you don't do that, then your title, which by the way is considered to be the most important thing for keyword optimization to Google, if your title doesn't happen to have the keyword in it because you're writing the title for the reader, but you want to optimize for the search engines, then you need to be able to find a way to tell Google a different title than what the reader is actually seeing at the moment, right? So how to lose weight, weight loss basics is going to be the title, and then here you want to make it like a little. So this is an article, 23 November, weight loss isn't always easy, blah, blah, blah. Okay, someone here didn't optimize this. However, someone here really knows how to optimize. How to lose weight fast, tips and guides on the best and fastest way to lose weight. Fast weight loss is easy if you know how. Now notice, lose weight, okay? Lose weight fast. Fastest way to lose weight. Fast weight loss. Okay, all very keyword rich. No surprise that they're ranking high up on page 1. Okay, but if you don't specify this description, what Google's going to do is take like the first 150 characters in your article. And that's not, I mean, if you read this, this is not reader-friendly text. It's search engine optimization friendly text. But so it's really important that you create your search engine optimized text here in the description. Otherwise, lorem ipsum is going to show up in the description, and it may make sense and it may not. And if you have any HTML there because you're playing a video or an audio, then that's going to show up in the description, which is going to get really messy. So this ability here to optimize your title and your search engine description is paramount to the benefits that you're going to get from search engine optimization on a blog. And it's really important that you have this and that you take the time to do this for every post that you make. Okay? And that's what the all-in-one SEO pack is going to do. That's one of the most important ones that I want you to install right away. Okay? All right. So, man, it looks like I have more content. Okay, quick tips. Ideally, blog 2 to 4 times a week. Number 2, the longer your blog posts, the more they're likely to get read, the better they'll get indexed. Write a whole bunch of blog posts and schedule them ahead of time. Sit down for an hour, write 4 blog posts, 5 blog posts, schedule them to come out once or twice a day over the next 3 days. Batch your time for productivity. Make your blog posts anything from articles, personal notes, newsletters, multimedia, events, whatever you want to put in there. It's all dynamic. Your categories are going to organize the content so that they show up properly. So don't worry about creating a whole mishmash of things. Just make sure that you organize them by category and that the categories are keyword rich. If you don't like to write, audio blogs are a great way and a quick way to have content on a blog without having to write, and it's more engaging. And you can always have the audio blog transcribed and posted. So that's a real quick way to get great content and engagement on your blog. Automate your SEO, I mean, the way we talked about, and take a look at OnlyWire and Auto Social Poster. Actually, nowadays you don't even really need these if you have that SubPub Hubbub plugin. It does a lot of the work for you here. Remember that you can use and create a lot of pages that don't have to show up on the navigation. So you can have a sales page on your blog. You can have an opt-in page on your blog. You can have a teleseminar webinar information page on your blog. So think about this as your website as well as your blog, and just know that when you want to create a post, you don't have to put the URL on the navigation menu, which means that nobody except to whom you give the link will actually be able to find that page. And this makes it real easy for you not to have to do any HTML design. Always use your blog content to promote and pre-sell. Don't just provide content. Okay, remember our wagon wheel. You want to pre-sell, you want to educate, you want to inspire and motivate people to click through on those sales pages and opt-in pages, or ideally bring them to that web wagon wheel sales mini site so they can spend some money with you. Be careful which ads you use. I see a lot of professionals having ads for all sorts of things that are not related. Remember that people come to your site. You're branding your site. You're branding yourself. You're showing them what you're an expert in. Don't look like an advertisement farm. Don't look like a blog or content farm. Really make sure that if you do advertise anything, it's related to what you're helping people to do, and really think hard before you put any AdSense on your site, because that's just screaming, I'm not for real. I'm just here making money on advertising. You can create on in either posts or in articles. You can put your articles, your newsletters, your tutorials, your videos on these pages, and then use your autoresponder to drive new subscribers to them. So every time you create a new article or a new newsletter, excuse me, you can add an autoresponder entry so that every new subscriber eventually gets pointed to every page and every post on your blog. And so every time you post, you have a longer content autoresponder automatically. And by the way, you want people not to be reading your stuff in email, right? You want them on your blog reading stuff, because what does that mean? That means that they'll consume your stuff, they may bounce around, read more articles, and then boom, suddenly they're on your sales page. Use every trick in the book you can think of to build your list. So make sure you have an opt-in form at the top right corner. Use a lightbox opt-in, a pop-up or exit like Aweber allows you to do. Use the instant slide-up feature, which slides up the opt-in on the bottom. Whatever you can, remember you want to get folks on your list, because you don't know where they're coming from, right? They could be coming from organic search traffic. They're not on your list yet. If they like your content, remind them how to get on your list and incentivize them, bribe them. If you want people to comment, you got to tell them. If you want people to share, you got to tell them. Don't just write good content. Tell them. If you liked what you read, comment below or share it with your friends. All right? It may seem obvious, but if you don't put it in there, people won't connect the dots. And don't be stingy with link love. A lot of people say, "Well, I don't want to share my link juice with everybody else. I'm going to no follow my links." Well, you know what? If people know that you have no follow, which means that when they come and post on your blog, the link that points back to their website, you're basically telling Google not to follow it. You're saying ignore this link, which basically means that I come on your site, I comment, I give you good value, and then you're not going to let Google. You're not going to refer to my page so that Google finds me and I get some value. There are a lot of people who are going to say, well, the heck with you then, I just won't comment. So, there's a little bit of an etiquette here that says, hey, if I'm inviting you to comment on my blog and I'm getting benefit of user-generated content and communication and engagement, and I'm getting search engine juice, the very least I can do is give you a link back to your site, right? So don't be stingy with your link love. You're getting a lot for it. Give it to folks and you'll get it in return. And that's it. So you know what? I'm going to save questions till Thursday. If you have questions on any of this, I know near the end I noticed that we were running out of time, so I sped up a little bit. Please go back and watch the video. And if you have any questions about, and by the way, try this out. Get the plugins, put up a blog, get in the plugins, try to use them, see how they work. And then if you have any questions, we can try and talk about them. I'm not an expert in all those plugins, but I'll certainly be able to at least kind of give you an idea of what they're meant to do and how you might want to optimize some of them. But at the very least, have a very careful look through the description in the WordPress plugin directories of all those plugins so you can decide which ones are appropriate for you to use. Those are sort of the best of the best. Those are the ones I've culled out and use pretty religiously from probably 5-6 years of playing around with plugins. There's a universe of 1,500, 2,000 different plugins. I've given you 20. So you can rest assured that most of what you need to do for SEO, search engine optimization, security, engagement, video playing, all the key things are going to be covered in those blogs. So hopefully that's going to save you a lot of time, especially if you're just starting out. Okay. I'm out of breath, and we're 2 hours and 10 minutes into it. So I would love it if you would come with your questions on Thursday. Any of this that you'd like to know more about, we can dig deeper on then. And I'd love it if you had a chance to go through, review it, and implement as much of this stuff as possible. Especially pay attention to the search engine optimization things. Okay, that conversation is going to be really important for you to make sure that your stuff gets seen by as many people as possible, and that you build a list and make sales from organic free traffic as well. So till we meet again, I really appreciate you being here. It looks like most of you are still on the line. That's really amazing. After 2 hours, we're still all here. So that must be, hopefully that means that this was worthwhile to you, and that this should last you a long time. I put a lot of content in here so you can go back and refer to it anytime you're setting up your blog or putting content or wondering how to use it to optimize for SEO. So thanks again for being here. Because you're here, I get to do this work, which is fun and fulfilling, and I appreciate being in this conversation and in this community with you. Till we meet again, good night, bye for now, namaste.